comes up here. Yes, here we are. Here we are. Okay. I can see the comments. I haven't been able to see the comments. I can see them on my phone. Here we are. Now you can hear me. Okay. Comments on. I can see. Yeah. Okay. Let's see, where are we? All right. I've just got 100 screens always opened when I'm on these. One second. Hi, say hi if you're on. I can actually see Natasha, Olivia, Renetta. How are you? Beautiful, beautiful gods. They're all here. Okay. Okay, so I'm so excited. Welcome, and I'm so excited to share that we have the God of empathy here today, right? God of empathy. So such a beautiful energy to have, and it is Tanya Faria, and yeah, she's such a beautiful, beautiful being. If some of you may know her already, others may not. Maybe the first time they know her, have heard of her, but a lot of you guys will know her. And she's such a gorgeous, absolute gorgeous energy for our planet. So we'll begin and believe, but we'll begin by the activation of, just in case someone's just come to the video, just this one is the first one that they've seen. So I am Maria Portas, and I am honored to reveal the gods. They are a remembrance of who you be. It's time. The gods are the new earth divine leaders that are here to provide direction, guidance, and healing to you and our world. Right now, everything is crumbling, it's being dismantled as we speak, and many don't know where to turn to or who to trust. The gods are divinely chosen to lead, and they bring a remembrance of who you be. I share the gods with you. They are here for you. They are a stand for love, truth, and freedom for all. We all rise together. Each one of us has a divine energy, including you. Each one of us, right? So it's who you are. It's the filter that you have seen your world through. Aligning to your energy is where you thrive. We came to activate this planet. Each god will activate and awaken their divine energy within you. Each video is a transmission and an awakening to the divine powers that live dormant within you. You will be coded to thrive, love, create, and expand to more. These beings have tapped into their divine power, and one by one these beings have tapped into our divine power, and one by one we will activate the world. I share the gods with you for you to remember who you be. I share the gods with you for you to remind you, with you to remind you of the greatness that lives within you, that we are more, that each one of us brings a piece of heaven on earth. When we are on purpose, we are the medicine of our world. This is the piece that many are missing. Your knowing of who you be. For the past 10 years, I have been activating the gods of this world, divinely activating their God frequencies and watching them release their magic into the universe. And today I want to introduce you to the God of empathy. Okay, so Tanya Faria is the God of empathy, and welcome to our call, Tanya.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You're so beautiful. Okay, so tell us what it means to be the God of empathy, what that means for you.
Yeah, so being the God of empathy it's a beautiful, it can be overwhelming at times, especially in times like these where, everybody has a certain amount of empathy. And luckily, I'm able to see you for where you are, and not what everybody expects you to be. And so it's a true gift, that I wasn't always able to see as a gift. I've spent time with Maria, and as soon as she said it, I was like, oh yeah. And then, up until that point, it was, I'll say that it more felt like a burden, that, when, and even now, my kids will bring me a box of tissues whenever we watch a movie.
Yeah.
Whether it's a happy movie, a sad movie, it doesn't matter if I've seen the movie 6 times, I just come over emotional. So, and I've been that way my whole entire life, but I never really knew why. And as soon as the movie is done, the emotion goes away, and, I'm back doing whatever it was that we were doing before. And so now that I understand, now that I get why I get so emotionally invested in music, in movies, in people, it's no longer a burden. It truly is a gift that I can walk into a room and find those people who are just needing a little extra love and support, and I can meet them and I can say, you're not alone. I'm right here with you. You're going to get through this. And it doesn't matter whether they're my best friends since I was 5 years old, or somebody that I'm just meeting for the very first time, that just needs that extra, you're going to be okay. Yeah. And it's been really awe-inspiring to be able to watch myself over the last 6 months really step into that and really understand why I'm able to do that.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I've seen you rise into this energy, like really use the power of it. And I've seen something that came through in your session, but there's something that you write a lot that I see that comment come through, and I so feel your energy just pouring onto whatever post is happening or whatever anybody shared. And there's a line that you use. Can you say that?
I see you, I feel you. Most of the time I'm writing it. So,
yeah, so just pause out.
So I see you, I feel you, I am you.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen you pull that out so many times. Like, and when it came through, it was like empathy is a realization that you are more, and that I see you, I be you, and together we are one. And it is a healing. I remember God saying it's a healing modality of sorts when we step into that energy, when we use your energy, and because God is that energy and created that energy of empathy, and then created Tanya to actually bring that forth for us and to teach us about it and activate that within us and within for the planet. And imagine if we all walked around like that, like I see you, I be you, and together we are one, because that is oneness. That's the truth of what it is. But it's only when we're in empathy that we are feeling what the other is feeling and stepping into their shoes. Like there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Like, can you speak to that? Like, do you know, is it all the same for you, or is it?
Yeah. No, it's definitely different for me. Empathy, when I am in my full empathic kind of being, I literally feel your pain. I literally feel your broken heart and the sorrows and the weight that you're carrying. Um, for me, I don't, as soon as we leave each other, I'm able to step away from that. But for those moments that I'm in your presence, I literally feel how you feel. Whereas sympathy, you kind of can say, oh, I understand that. It's not necessarily that you feel it, but you can understand why the person is feeling the way that they're feeling, or you can associate it to something that's happened in your life that would have given you the same reaction or pain. But this is me literally feeling the same weights that you're feeling.
And so you've lived life through that, like you've always felt that through life.
Yeah, I mean, I can read rooms really easily. I call it, I never knew what it was before. I just knew that I could read energy and I could read it really well. And so it's meeting people for the first time and understanding that that maybe and it's not an understanding, it's a knowing that, you know, they're going through something really, really hard at this moment. Or maybe it doesn't always have to be bad, like sad things. I mean, I can know whether you just got the promotion that you've been busting your butt to get for the last 6 months and you finally got it. It's not always a sadness or a heaviness. It's a celebration too. So it's I'll say that God uses me to heal more than to find the celebratory stuff, but that stuff exists as well. And
that is so incredible. I remember when I told you, and it was just like, yeah, that's me. Now I understand why. Like I feel
right.
And you probably thought that most people felt kind of the same, and until you realize that they didn't, you know, like, but otherwise we go through our world, and that's the filter you saw. You felt people like, and what a beautiful being you are. That, and I remember, so your purpose came through, like your purpose is to bring this energy out into our world because we so need it, right? We need to know that connection. We need to be able to feel what the other is feeling, and even it's not even for words, it's just knowing, like, because sometimes people speak words, but to feel them, to feel what's behind those words, because a lot of people don't feel safe enough or don't know, like people are so lost right now, and there's many people, there's a lot of people that have awoken, which is beautiful, but there's a lot of people suffering and in fear and everything, and you can feel all that for our world. So, and it says your purpose is to heal the thoughts that create the emotions that they now feel, because whatever they think, that's what creates the emotions, right? So your purpose is to heal the thoughts that create the emotions that they now feel. You see, you are able to transmit and show them the way that they are thinking is the cause of all that they bring. And yeah, so Tanya, what she is seeing is what they actually carry within. This is such a beautiful energy, God says, to bring, because the healing occurs when we understand what it is that needs to be released. No longer will they be trapped in what they thought was this way of being. You see, they have been stuck in a paradigm, and now, like Tanya, gets to release it all. You get to create and move with them and assist them in releasing what they now be. Because sometimes they can't even put that into words. They can't even.
Yeah.
You feel, tell me about that.
So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I have a very dear friend. She has been my friend since elementary school. And she's had a rough couple of years. And and I don't even check in with her. I just know. I'm like, oh, today's a rough day. So I'll send her a text message and I'm like, hey, you're going through some stuff. What's going on? And she's like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I know, like, and then she's like, well, first she'll be like, oh, nothing's wrong or anything like that. And I'm like, I know you better. And you should know me better that I know. Yeah. And she's like, oh, and then she goes into this like big, long thing, or she'll call me on the phone and she's like, all of this stuff. And I'm like, I know. And she's like, but how do you know? And I'm like, I just know. I'm like, but through the course of these 2 years, we've been able to work together and be like, okay, this is a pattern, and you're going to continue to see this pattern until you see yourself differently, and until you see the situation differently. So sometimes, you know, I'm able to go in the weeds with her and pull her out a little bit and be like, okay, now look at it from this bigger perspective. And then, you know, that she's able to shift out of whatever murky water she was in for a minute and then have a different perspective. So now it's not that thing weighing her down anymore. It's something else. But, you know, we've been able to work on her patterns, and now she's able to catch herself before she gets into the pattern. So a lot of what I do is about that. It's what are your patterns? Let's identify your patterns. And then once we're able to figure out what keeps you perpetually stuck or perpetually feeling like crap, you don't have to feel like crap anymore. And you need to make the decision that you don't want to feel this way anymore. So it's not only, yes, I'm able to help facilitate that and point things out, and really understand why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. But some of it's on you to want to change, and it's on you to want to change those patterns. And I can only bring you so far, but I can always tell you that you're not alone. And I can always tell you that I feel you, and that I am you, and that we're going to get through this together. So that's one less thing that you're perpetually not getting stuck in, is no one knows how I feel. I'm all alone. Yeah. And is this worth it?
Which is a horrible, horrible place to be, where you think like, I'm alone. Yes. And I don't even, and sometimes it's like, I remember as a young girl, I had been abused when I was about 11. And I didn't even know, like, then I shut down again, and I never said anything till I was 30 something, right? And I thought it was just me. And yet I went through, you know, feeling nothing, wanting to not be on this planet ever again, like just cutting out like what the anger inside of me as a young girl started to build. That day the filter dropped, where I saw everything through love, and then all of a sudden the filter of fear dropped. But I shut down, and just anger began to pour out, and I began to hate myself. And so I began to attract, like, the abuse stopped at some stage, and then you begin to abuse yourself in the end, you know, and so you attract that into your life. But nobody could understand me. I wasn't saying anything. Nobody was asking me anything. Like, why are you so angry? Like, and it gets to a point where you don't even remember. You just have so much hate for yourself, right? And if someone could have come in and said, I'm here, I feel you, I know you, like, I know, like, because I couldn't even remember at one point, I couldn't even remember why I hated myself so much. Like, I knew that had happened. It wasn't like I completely blocked it out, but I didn't connect the dots. Like, the minute I said at 30 something, 35 or something, this is what happened to me, then it was like my whole life was just like, oh my gosh, it was all in my face. But if someone, like, if you have someone that you know that like needs that help, that it's so them now, it's like, it's just, they don't even know what it is now. And sometimes it's so hidden underneath all the layers that you've now because you keep attracting what you think, right? What you
Right.
think, and your emotions and everything. And for someone to come in and say, I feel you and I am you, and just I'm here with you and I understand what you're going through, and let's take a look at that, and let's clear those programs or whatever. Like, what you do is just so freeing for a being, and so freeing for families, for, like, just that understanding that you can tap into someone and just like, and you can do that. And just because people want to know, can you do that online too? Feel that energy?
Yeah. So I have worked really hard to be able to put up boundaries of when I'm available and when I'm not. So I just take down the boundaries. And then I'm able to connect with you and your higher being. And then, my essence kind of takes over from there. And we walk through, hey, why are you feeling this way? Or, it's because we're all energy. It's more of a gentle flow. It's not like I'm going to call you out on all the crap that has ever made you feel bad in your entire life. It's I don't have to say anything. I just have to be with you. I just have to have a conversation with you, and you be opening to receive what I have to offer.
Yeah.
And the words that come out of my mouth, and take it as me being as genuine as I know how to be. And that when I really say that I feel your pain, my heart is hurting, or if you have an ailment, typically I can feel like if you've been in a car accident and you've hurt your back, or something, or if you have a headache that day, I can probably feel that you've had a headache that day. And it's just, but I need your permission too. It's not like I just go around the world and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go and and give myself to you without you wanting to receive it. So it's, I can do it in person. I can do it online. Sometimes I've been known to do it in the astrals. Like, it's whatever you need of me is how it comes through.
That's so incredible. So incredible. I just want to read some more about your mission, like how you do your purpose on the planet. So your mission, Tanya, is to release the interpretation of what people bring into this world. It is not real. You get to release what they are now believing is truth and allow them to live again. Because what is happening right now is that they are regurgitating their lives. They are fabricating this world into one that needs not be. They are actually creating again and again what they do not want to see. But you get to see into their minds, into their stories, and actually dismantle their fears. Your empathy releases them from their fears. They are once again seen and understood. And in this, then they get to be. Like, how beautiful, like, you do all that. Like, that's how you do your purpose. Like, you actually see through, like, in their stories, you see, you feel it all. Like, you just know, and when they speak to you, I'm sure you just get these realizations of what is happening, because they're just, like I said, we just, like, something happens and then we judge ourselves because of that, and then we just start, like, we then attract from that and we judge ourselves, and you come in and it's just like this release. You release us to be able to start new again.
Yeah. It's beautiful when you do that. And what I've come to realize is that it's a whole it's not just a one kind of, we have one conversation and you're released from these things. It is a bit of work. Like you have to, it's not a daily struggle anymore to change the pattern though. It's not a dread of waking up the next morning. It's, I now can know my triggers. I can see them out in the patterns of the world. And then I have the ability to now shift that and to now change that. Yeah. And it's rewarding when you see it. For me, it's rewarding when you know what their pattern is, and then you see them not do their pattern. Yes. And then you're like, but you know, it takes time. You didn't develop the pattern overnight, and you can't break it overnight either. You can identify it overnight, and you can start to change that and to heal that. The other thing that is really kind of beautiful about the whole process is that this isn't something that you do alone. Like I'm there with you to do it. So yeah, you're gonna stumble and you're gonna fall, and it's okay. Like you're loved and you're supported, and I'm gonna we're gonna pick you up off the ground, and you're gonna try again tomorrow. Being able to take at least some of the weight off somebody for them to be able to stand up on their own 2 feet is probably the most rewarding part. It's not the text messages or the thank yous or the, hey, you really helped me with this. Those are all great. I mean, it's just validation that I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do. But actually watching it happen is all the things that I'll ever need. And you don't do it because of the accolades and the thanks and you do it because we're all one. And this is like your arm, right? It's a part of you. So if one of us stumbles, all of us are stumbling. And if one of us can't, and if one of us is having a hard time breathing, then all of us is having a hard time breathing. So it's one of those things that you go through the process and you really try to see people for where they are, and you don't have any expectations for anything else than to meet them where they are. Yeah. And that's really important too.
That's so beautiful, so beautiful. So in your session, I remember there was a message. We all have a message within us, and the message that God gave to you, and this is like Tanya saying it, and she's been saying it right through this, but there are times in this world when it feels like nothing makes sense. And yet these are the times that you will look back and think, wow, that was the turning point for me. This is where everything worked out. This is your turning point, this moment right here. This moment right here that we are actually on this, like in doing this video right now with Tanya, this is your turning point. This is the activation right now, okay? Just being in her presence, listening to her words, her ideas, her knowing about being that God of empathy, right? Being the energy of empathy on the planet, which is now activated. But this is the turning point, okay? So this is where everything works out. This is your turning point, the moment right here. I see you, I understand, and I have been you. This moment is where we move into and towards our dreams. Let's do this together. Being in her presence, this is the moment. We can choose this as the turning point. And you did touch a little bit just then about like how to see ourselves as one and something. But if we think this is a turning point, we are here with the God of empathy that changes everything, that is that oneness. It makes us understand that if we can have that empathy for each person, like if we can see each person the way you do and understand that person and tap into your energy, if this was a turning point for our planet, like what is it that we should be looking at? And you did touch just a bit, it made me excited because you touched on it a bit, but yeah, for the earth, for this planet, how is this our turning point with your energy here?
Yeah, I think that we're seeing it, right? We're seeing it a little bit more every day when people are able to not only say I understand and it feel like empty words, but for them to actually say, no, I'm standing right here with you. I can feel all of the hurt and all of the anger and all of the sadness. We have so much going on in the planet right now that it is all shifting at once. And it kind of, at night when I meditate, it kind of feels like a Rubik's Cube. And I'm trying to get all the colors of everybody's emotions on the right side of the Rubik's Cube. And right now, everybody is like scattered. But the great thing is that the more people that can feel what another person is going through, the more colors on that side of the Rubik's Cube light up. So then I don't have to work so hard, because there's other people that are saying, you know what, this person isn't alone in the way that they feel. And I am feeling this way too, or I can put myself in this person's shoes long enough to understand that what they are feeling is deep and is true. And once we all figure out that we all want the same thing, then we're going to realize that we are all the same being. Yes. It's difficult right now because you have ego and there's a bunch of other forces that are going, but underneath it all is, once we realize and empathize, true empathy, and it's not just sympathy anymore, it's I really feel what you're going through, it's going to allow the shift to happen more quickly. Because right now, us in the human condition, it feels like empty words, it feels like empty promises, it feels like it doesn't feel like truth. But once people start to connect with real empathy, then they're going to realize that, oh, I need, like, that person is part of me, I am part of them, so yes, they do understand how I feel. And the better the world's going to be. Yeah. It's going to take us a while to get there. We have a lot of stuff to heal and to go through until we reach that point. But we are moving in the right direction, and it will come. And you know, the leaders of the world will be able to guide the others, that if you just pause, if you literally pause for 15 seconds of your day and try to get outside of yourself, not get outside to the mainstream media, not listen to what everybody else is telling you, but 15 seconds of trying to feel somebody else, it changes the world.
Yeah, it does change the world. I love what you said. It's just getting outside and thinking of someone else apart from yourself, and that also releases you, because when you're in empathy, you're like, how can I serve? How can I help? Like, I grew up in a family like that. Like, my mission is to create, my purpose is to create heaven on earth here on the planet. How I do that, the leaders come and we get activated, we remember who we be, and we share, you know, we share with the people, the beings, and we activate the planet. But to me, I believe that I experienced that because my dad did this, okay? So I know your energy through my dad. It was so natural for my family to have that. And my dad would, who's passed now, but always with me, he's like, he was that empathy. I learned that through him, and he would feel someone's energy or see them. Like, you can see when someone needs help, you know, and he would see someone, and they may have looked like, back then, they may have looked like they were just new to Australia or something, and he would, you know, bring them home, and we would make dinner and all that, and whatever, however we could serve. But it was like, and he would ask them over dinner, he would say, tell me what happened. Like, people want to be seen, like people want to be heard, and tell me, like, you know, we may not be able to feel everything you say you feel, but we can have that intention of knowing and loving and being. And I lived like that, and it was so beautiful, because the people that were brought into our family and existence and everything, it was just like we are one. Like, that was just like, there was no, like, if someone is suffering, then like the world suffers, just like you were saying before. Like, that is oneness. Like, no one gets left behind. And if one person is hurting, everyone hurts, because it's all energy too. And that energy will go out. That's like when they say, you know, something's happening in another country, you know, nobody worries about it. Excuse me, that is energy that is going out to the very end of the ethers, and then will come back to all of us, right? It comes back individually, but also collectively, it is coming back, and we're experiencing that, right? And so it is our collective energy that's coming back. But if we have this understanding and this beautiful energy that you bring, and today, the way you've expressed it to us, that we can actually take that through our world. And like, I feel like we've all been activated to open our hearts, to open our awareness, to see the people around us, because that's what shifts the world. And if we can take that, you know, that motto, the kind of that God, that belief that God gave you and is within you, and you've taught us, is that I see you, I be you, and together we are one. And that in itself is a healing modality. So even to walk around and just think, even thinking that I see you, I be you, and together we are one, to just give that intention to each person you look at, I think that would just shift our world completely.
Oh, absolutely.
For us to feel
great.
like you do. Yeah. For us to even like, and that energy that goes through the planet will shift because our intention shifts, right? So today we have been activated by Tanya's energy. Is there anything else? I know you've said so many beautiful things and so many things, but is there anything else that you wanted to leave us with, or say, or a message that you have for us to go off?
One thing just came through, and it's not just to have empathy for others, but to have empathy for yourself. Like,
I forget that part. Yes.
Like, you know, we're constantly trying to make the world better. It's why we were put on this planet, was to make the world better. But in order to make the world better, we need to remember to take care of our hearts. And allow yourself that grace, allow yourself that bit of, well, today I need to feel into me, because for whatever reason. So you can give empathy to yourself. And it also releases you from whatever it is that you're carrying in the world. because I mean, we are still having the human experience. We still do carry a lot of weight around. So it's important. It is important for us, just as we are taking care of everyone else, to also take care of ourselves.
So someone here, Fun, hello, Fun. She's just saying, such a great way to present it. Step outside of yourself, like you were saying, like to take, 15 seconds, step outside of yourself. So, and she's also saying, do you believe that everyone is able to do that? When I come across some people, sometimes I doubt they're able to do that.
Everyone is, I believe everyone is able to do that. There are some people that have put up mountains in front of them, for whatever the reason. And it's really hard, to get them to crack open a little. But once you get them to express themselves a little bit, then it becomes a matter of trust. Then they realize, oh, I can trust you. And then they open up a little bit more. And then they open up a little bit more. There's also this piece that sometimes it gets very narrow-minded. Like I have empathy for this person, so I can't have empathy for this person because they're on opposite sides of the spectrum. That's not the way empathy works. You have it for everyone. Like you can put yourself in this person's shoes and this person's shoes simultaneously, and it doesn't it doesn't negate the other. It's just saying, yes, I can understand this. I can feel the hurt. I can feel the pain of this individual, and I can feel the hurt and the pain of this individual too. And that, but they can't feel for each other. And once we are able to get them to feel for each other, that's how we make heaven on earth.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful explanation. I hope you heard that, Fun. That was so beautiful. Sorry, you just blew my mind and I just forgot I had something that I was going to say. Oh yeah, when you were saying that, it was like, can you see why she is the God of empathy? Like, can you see, like when these beings are the gods of something, they know their energy inside out. Okay, they have a better understanding. Why? Because they are that. That's how they've seen the world. That's how they've moved through that's how they move through the world. Fun says, this is so needed right now, feeling empathy for all sides. Thank you, she says. That's so beautiful. But yeah, see what I mean? When they're the God of that energy and I say, oh, you're the God of this, and it comes through at that second when I write just before their session. And I never know until I'm typing that sentence, your essence is blah, blah, blah. Like that's when it comes through. Before that, I don't know. And the way you understand it, like no one understands it like that. Like the way you see it, nobody sees it like that, because it's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is so life-changing. And yeah, but I just want to show people, like, that's what makes you a God of that energy, because you have, like, no one understands it like Tanya does, like nobody. Okay, so it's just, we can tap into her energy. Of course we can use that energy. We're tapping into it when we remember that, to feel other people and step into how they're feeling and everything. And thank you also for reminding us that empathy is for ourselves too, because I easily love on people. And then for years I loved and loved and loved outside, and I always forgot to love myself or how I felt, or step into, or have empathy for what I was going through or anything like that. So that's a beautiful thing to remember and be taught, and which we should be taught. These are the things we should be taught as little kids, like
right.
Remember, but that's what we should be. These are the things that we should be taught at school. And this is why I bring the gods together, because they are states of being. They are states of being, and it's all about being in a moment, in the now. Who are you being in the now? And you can tap into any of these energies, right? And you can tap into that power. And each of us came to represent that, but we also can tap into each other's, you know, when I need it, I can tap into Tanya's empathy, like Tanya's energy, which is empathy, the divine empathy on this planet. And at any time, it's very natural for me to do that. But I know I'm using that energy. I'm tapping into her source. I'm tapping into that energy because first and foremost, she is that energy which goes from one end of the horizon to the other, goes right through creation. And then God created Tanya to be able to share this with us, like for today, to be able to share this with us and to be able to help people and heal beings and heal the planet. If we all remember and spread that message, like, the planet will heal. And today it's been activated. So I thank you so much. I got so much out of that.
Thank you.
Amazing. I love you so much. I love who you be. And thank you for sharing you and your energy with our world. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I love you so much. Bye. Thank you everyone
Bye.
for joining us too. Thank you.